vocabulary that you need to focus on throughout this lesson is air mass, front, cold front, warm front, thunderstorm, tornado, and hurricane. When talking about weather, we need to understand fronts. But before we can understand fronts, we have to look at air masses. An air mass is a large body of air that has the same temperature and moisture throughout. If you look at the picture, you can see the blue air mass is our high pressure air mass, which means it's cold air. And the red air mass is our hot or warm air mass, which has low pressure. Fronts are where these two air masses meet and we get weather. If you'll notice down here at the bottom, our cold front is designated by a blue line with triangles, and a warm front is designated by a red line with semicircles. What happens is you have a high pressure air mass meeting up with a low pressure air mass, and when these two air masses touch, we get weather at a front. A cold front is when a cold air mass pushes towards a warm air mass. As you can see in the picture to the left, the cold air is pushing the warm air up. When this happens, cumulus clouds form and usually grow into thunderstorms. Tornadoes may also form. Like we said earlier, on a map, you will see a blue line with triangles to represent a cold front. During a cold front, temperatures can drop from 5 degrees to 15 degrees, and it's generally very windy. So these are really big storms that happen because of cold air pushing warm air. Another type of front is a warm front. This is when a warm air mass stretches over a cold air mass. So basically, the warm air is pushing over the cold air. This lighter, warmer air advances over heavier, colder air, causing thin clouds, steady light rain, and snow. So this weather that occurs at a warm front will be very light showers. As said earlier, red lines with red semicircles designate a warm front, where the warm air is pushing the cold air. Precipitation from the warm front is light to moderately heavy and continuous. So these are going to be a continual light shower. Once the front goes by, you can expect clear skies and warmer temperatures. Severe weather is in the form of thunderstorms, which is a heavy rainstorm that includes lightning as well as thunder. Thunderstorms occur in warm, moist air masses and because of sudden changes in air pressure, and as a fast-moving cold front hits a slow-moving warm front. When this happens, we get heavy rains, lightning, thunders, and hail. So basically, we have a lot of moisture in the air, and it condenses very fast and comes back down as a storm and rain. Thunderstorms happen more in the spring and the summer for us in the United States because the ground is warming and the warm air masses move north from Mexico, while the cold air masses move south from Canada. So if you look at our picture, you have a continental tropical air mass coming from Mexico moving north, and you have a continental polar air mass coming south, coming from Canada. When these two air masses meet, we get severe weather. Another type of severe weather are tornadoes, which is a spinning column of extremely low pressure air that moves in a narrow path over land. Tornadoes are generally caused from severe thunderstorms. Winds blow in different directions from a rotating column parallel to the ground, forming or creating a funnel cloud, which you can see in the picture. Once that funnel cloud reaches Earth, then we call this a tornado. Tornadoes usually last a few minutes, but can sometimes last for an hour or more. Another type of severe weather is a hurricane. A hurricane is a large, rotating, low-pressure system that forms over warm waters of oceans near the equator. So if you look in our picture down here of the map, you can see right here at the equator, we have most of our hurricanes forming here. If we have a hurricane in the Indian Ocean, they're generally called a cyclone, and if we have them form in the Pacific Ocean, they're generally called a typhoon. Hurricanes can last as long as 2 weeks. They occur in the summer and fall because the heat of the sun is greater, causing more water to evaporate. Hurricanes are caused by evaporation of water that forms several thunderstorms that spin around each other over water. Global wind patterns cause hurricanes to strike islands in the Caribbean Sea and the eastern coast of the United States. As you can see in our picture below, our hurricanes, those global winds are causing them to move from the east to the west. When a hurricane reaches land, it brings heavy rains and strong winds. Eventually, the storm will weaken over land because there's no more heat energy from the ocean to fuel the storm. For your summary, go ahead and try out these practice questions, and it would be a good idea to compare and contrast thunderstorms, tornadoes, and hurricanes in your written summary. Make sure you link thunderstorms and tornadoes back to your weather fronts, your cold front and your warm front, so that you can have a clear idea of when these severe weather events occur. Take a moment to answer these questions, think back and use your notes to answer them, and the answers will show up in just a moment.